Hey, welcome to the Band Shop Podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Tyler.
And we're doing a solo one with just the two of us this time.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, for Thanksgiving. We didn't want to not have an episode for Thanksgiving. Yeah. And we also didn't want to dig into our catalog of upcoming bands either.
No, we wanted to give them the full respect they deserve.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we'll kind of shoot the shit with you guys a little bit this time. Just kind of talk a little bit about this and maybe like some of the plans for the future.
And who knows what rants Zach's going to go off on today.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling many rants right now, but who knows? It might happen. Might happen at some point.
Never fails.
Like this fucking cough. I'm going to rant about that to whichever one of you motherfuckers that was here that got me sick.
Really, it was sucking dick on the corner that got him sick.
No.
Got to make money somehow.
But I know we've kind of talked a little bit about like how we started this on some of the other podcasts, but I thought we might cover it just a little bit here. Just kind of, you know, what kind of started the whole thing. I mean, you and I had been talking about doing this. And for how long? I mean,
yeah, it's probably been a year.
Yeah, it's been quite a while
since we kind of turned this space into a practice space at first.
Yeah, but I mean, you and I were even talking about doing it before that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I had been talking about wanting to do.
I mean, even back in December of 2017, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember talking about wanting to do a podcast for a long time. I've talked with several other people about doing podcasts about all sorts of stuff, movies or, you know, music or whatever.
Which is funny because like half the time we get on subjects of movies and shit.
Oh, I know. It's like we bring a guest in here and then we end up off on a tangent that has nothing to do with music usually.
Which is fine. Keeps it interesting.
But no, like it was after we kind of converted this space a little bit into a practice space.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, why don't we just fucking do it? We've got the space for it.
Fucking
you might as well just clear out a little bit more room and go for it.
Yeah. I mean, with having all these bands that, you know, we're friends with or that play in the area or really anyone, like, you know, it's nice to have a place to be able to feature them to a larger audience.
Oh, yeah.
So they can get that exposure and stuff.
Well, and I feel like we've talked about in some of the episodes, there isn't enough of there's not enough here for that. Yeah. Like you either have to be somebody already or, you know, you just have to blow somebody, I guess. But
I think you keep hitting your mic cable. I hear it.
Nope. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah. There's a lot of background noise there.
God, man, this cough is going to drive me crazy.
I'm going to have to edit all your coughs out in post.
Well, that's the other thing that most people don't realize is like the way we do this is like a joint effort.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like completely. I tend to do a lot of the video editing and stuff, or even like when bands come in, I'll do some of the recording side of it.
You do the initial setup for recording and
you do like all the post audio stuff pretty much. I just kind of let you handle that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I might give you some pointers here and there.
Yeah. We run both the video and the audio side. We run by each other, but
well, yeah, it was like with the blends. Like I was getting ready to start the editing on that, and like I open up the editing bay, and I'm like, oh shit, you've already got them all lined up and everything for me. That was nice.
Yeah, you know, I don't have time. I'm bored and I can't sleep like usual. If I'm not playing solitaire,
fucking solitaire every time, man, every time,
dude. Great boredom killer.
I need to get you a fucking Xbox One, so when you're
yeah,
we might actually be able to, you know, play some games together. Because I'm always like, oh look, it's Tyler's on playing fucking solitaire.
Yeah, well, it's easy to play when I'm sitting in bed on my phone.
That's not all you're playing with.
Hey now.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of where it all started from.
Yeah.
But as far as the future goes, I know that like we just want to keep expanding this.
Oh yeah.
And kind of like obviously the goal is to get better cameras, better lighting.
Yeah.
I mean, the cameras are really the big thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, as you guys can see, we're just using the webcams for this. I didn't bring out the nice camera for this one. I didn't figure there was a point.
Right, yeah, no.
Otherwise, maybe, except for my own vanity, maybe. I mean, I could have just put it on myself and had the nice, lens on myself.
That's all right. At least you put my webcam on me. So, got the 1080p.
Yeah, except for I'm still only running it in 720.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Well, it just tends to be a little bit more
in sync.
yeah, especially that, and that's the other thing. It's like eventually we're going to need to get a better computer.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna need to
yeah.
I mean, because right now, like I found when we brought Lot Lizards, which is kind of a heads up for what we've got coming up. What would that be, next week?
Yeah, next week.
But when we had them in the studio, I realized really quickly, I was like, oh fuck, we're out of channels.
Yeah.
Like, and they weren't even, it's like, there's 4 of them, but because Joey was running his AB rig, and then we had 3 vocals, which we've never had up to this point. We've never had like 3 vocals to deal with. I mean, we've only got like 16 channels to work with right now.
Right.
And I was like, I've used all 16 channels.
And I mean, drums take up like 7 or 8
7
channels.
or 8, yeah, just for the drums alone.
Yeah. And that's for a 4-piece.
Yeah. When we had Death at Dawn in here, like,
yeah, last
and
week's
Barry,
episode.
Yeah, and Barry's kit, like, or Borg, whatever. I'm just gonna, use his name because they kept going back and forth. Fuck it. But with his kit, like, he was running a 5-piece, which we hadn't been running 5 pieces in here.
Right.
Mostly just been running 4. And like, if we'd have had a band in here that was running a 5-piece kit and like 3 vocals, or
yeah,
like,
we've been hosed.
Well, what I had to do with Lot Lizards is I had to combine the 2 vocals onto one channel because I was out of channels. I couldn't record anything else separate. So, I mean, we make do with what we can.
Right.
But I mean, the goal eventually is to hopefully be able to get a better setup.
Right.
So that we don't have to worry as much about it. I mean, what we have right now works.
Right.
But barely, because how many times have we had system crashes and like
cords go out on us?
Oh, I mean, fuck. I mean, one of these days, what we'll have to do is do a little, maybe for when we, that's the other thing too, is like our Patreon stuff. Like, we technically have a Patreon, but I haven't completely gotten it set up yet. So I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but by the time this comes out, it may be up and running. Maybe. Probably not. But maybe that's one of the things that we'll do for Patreon, is do like a little behind the scenes video of like what kind of a clusterfuck this is. Like, the
I know, poor Death at Dawn. I mean, I think I was inside for most of it, but you had so many issues with the computer with them, and it was like so fucking late, and they had to be up early.
Oh, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. We had the computer crash like 5 times.
Yeah.
In a row, and
our recording doll crashed like 12 times or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. And it got to the point because, some of the guys had to they had jobs and stuff to deal with. Like, we had done all of the audio stuff. We'd already done all of that, and that was done. It was when we were starting to do the interview. And this is a little funny behind the scenes story. When we first started the interview, we got about 20 minutes into it, and all of a sudden we start hearing this sound like of this other voice, this like disembodied voice that is somebody that's not in the fucking room. And I'm like, what is going on? And then we stop and we realize that because I had loaded the previous recording session from when we had Chris on here,
Chris Farmer, yeah,
to just as a template, and I thought I had erased all the tracks out of that template, out of that workspace, and apparently I left one. And so like 20 minutes into the conversation, all of a sudden Chris's voice is popping into our headphones while we're talking. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And we had to stop the podcast to figure out what was going on. And that's why when you watch the interview from last week, you'll see that for the first 20 minutes or so, we kind of are playing around with each other a little bit. And it's because a lot of that was literally redone, almost word for word, what we had already done the first time. And yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah.
And literally, we cut that down to the wire. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can tell they're just
oh yeah, and watching the interview, I mean, fuck, by that point it was already
almost midnight.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is on a Wednesday,
right?
That we recorded this, so it's like in the middle of the week, and I mean, these guys had jobs and things to do in the morning, and it was like,
right, yeah,
super.
Actually,
late.
it was like a Tuesday, wasn't it?
I was thinking it was a Wednesday. No, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're right, it was a Tuesday. It was one of those odd ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So we normally don't do them on Tuesdays, but yeah.
May do.
But I mean, so far, we've had a pretty good experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as with anything, you got your ups and downs. You got your issues with equipment or editing or whatever. I mean, or, certain people not.
Just like a little behind the scenes thing. Our first episode with the blends, we had one camera that ended up, it would start to lag and become out of sync. So like by the end of the podcast, it was completely off.
Yeah, so we had to go in manually and try and fix the other camera that was lagging. The problem is with the way that we record this, it's done in a way that it's all recorded, like the cameras are all running simultaneously, and when we record it, it's all on the same video that's being recorded.
Right.
So when you go in, it's not like you can just it's not like we had 3 different videos.
Yeah, it's just one video.
To cut from, it's one video.
We live transition.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We live transition it. So it's like, that was a mess. I mean, that took forever. I was doing it for quite a while until I got fed up with it. And then you did it for a while. Yeah. And that was one of those that we barely made the deadline.
Right, yeah.
To get that up on time because of that.
At least that one's in focus.
Yeah, that was what I was going to joke about. I was going to pick on Benny for not having that fucking, the last week's video. Like, you'll see. Benny. Yeah, that, yeah, so when you see that in the video of the songs and in the interview, you can just at Benny all you want and give him all the shit in the world for not paying attention and making sure it was in focus. Because that was all on him.
If it wasn't 100%, we're going to make it sound like 100%. His fault.
But,
just because we love him.
But we've also, I mean, we had, Ben Smith come in when Chris Farmer was doing it because Benny couldn't be here, right? And that turned out great. That was he was a big help there. I mean, we've been lucky that we've had some help.
We're gonna be getting hopefully be having some more special guests and stuff on the podcast coming up. Especially, I'm a little more available to do it now, but with my schedule and everything, I can't always 100% be out here, so. That, and we just like getting different perspectives and stuff, even if it has to be me back behind the cameras and Zach and whoever out talking or vice versa.
Well, and we've talked even with other people about coming in and doing some guest hosting even and doing that. There's several people we want to get in here. Some we have on the way.
Bennett, get out here.
Yes, Bennett. We've been trying to get Bennett out here for a while. And he's gonna be great to have on here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of the things I think too for upcoming episodes, we're gonna have some that are gonna be like this too, where it's not necessarily always gonna be a week where there's always gonna be a band every week.
Yeah, I think we're planning on doing something like this for Christmas time. So, and
with some guests, hopefully I'm working on, and it's looking like it's gonna happen. So
sweet. Usually with this, I don't know shit until right before it happens. Zach's like, oh, hey, by the way, this band's coming. It's like, all right.
We do have an online calendar
right.
that I try to put things in.
I know when it's on the calendar, but so I'm saying there's sometimes last minute stuff. It's like, oh yeah.
I try to not make it too last minute unless I don't have a choice.
It doesn't bother me.
But there we go. That was a good one.
Decent.
But yeah, I try not to do too much last minute, and more for my sake, because with my family and with my woman and stuff, I don't want to piss her off too much because I'm spending so much time over here.
Yeah, I think at one point you were about ready to move into my.
Oh, it was
garage.
no. She told me one time. She's like, why don't you just fucking move in with him? I mean, come on now. I was like, we've done that before.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
He doesn't cuddle quite the same.
It's not the same since I've gotten tubby, huh?
Right. Oh,
but
then Malin would become wanting to come out here all the time.
Oh,
Zach.
Oh yeah.
Helps that.
It doesn't help that I spoil her when I come over.
Right. Yeah. She's a spoiled little brat.
But yeah. So like coming up, we'll have bands. We'll have people that aren't necessarily musicians or like, but people that are like associated with the scene.
Right.
Or,
Right.
I know we can say some of the guests we have coming up, like we already said, like Lot Lizards is going to be coming up after this. We've got Tuesday Atlas coming up.
Yeah.
And then we've got King's Gambit's going to be coming on. Red Tail. We did actually manage to get Red Tail on.
Love those guys.
So that's the stuff we can tell you that is coming up.
Controvert's going to be on here at some
eventually. Point. Yeah, once we get them nailed down on a date. Which it'll probably be after the first of the year, I think.
Yeah, they're working on some stuff right now. So
yeah.
They want to get on here soon, but
and then in between those things, there might be weeks where it's just us, shooting the shit, or it might be, we might have somebody on who's not a musician,
right?
But has been a part of the scene, or,
I mean, even I'm up for bringing people that do graphic design and stuff like that for music and everything. I think one thing that we lack in this area and in a lot of areas in general is good promotion, like good footwork promotion like it used to be. You can't really rely on, maybe 5-6 years ago, Facebook was a place to, or any social media for that matter, was a good place to advertise. But anymore, it's so washed up with ads and everything that it's hard to promote on that.
We even know because we've done promotions on our stuff. Right. It's like I looked at some of the most recent things that we've promoted, and like the amount of money that you spend versus what you actually get out of it, it's not worth it anymore.
I mean, I would rather spend $30-$40 printing out flyers and going around and posting them and handing them out than spending $30 or $40 on a promo on a social media site. Like, yeah. You get so much. Yeah, you're getting a wider range. But
when you look at like when it comes down to it, and you're basically getting like one click per dollar in the end,
right?
It's like, yeah, you might have sent it out to 3,000 people, but out of those 3,000 people, only like 30 people clicked on it. Like,
right.
It's not worth it.
I mean, I remember back in the day going like walking through when I worked on Purdue, especially. Walking through campus and you have the post-it the flyer poles just completely covered in flyers, and there'd be people there looking at the flyers and everything, and that's how like a lot of the shows were promoted back then. I mean, or just word of mouth, but still, I mean, yeah, you'd post something on MySpace or something like that, but
good old MySpace.
Yeah.
Good old MySpace.
I remember checking that. Updating my top 8.
I actually went on because, it's still around. Like,
yeah.
But
didn't Justin Timberlake buy
it out? Yeah, I think
he
owns it or something, or
he did at one point.
Yeah. But like, and it's all basically for music promotion now, even though nobody uses it really.
Yeah.
But I went on and was actually able to get into my old account, and unfortunately, I mean, like a lot of the stuff I had on there is gone. A lot of people lost stuff. I mean, like our old, band stuff is like all gone.
Our Hero Returns.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's some pictures and things that are still up there, but like all the audio files are gone. It's like, and unfortunately, some of that stuff I didn't have backups for.
Yeah, like, or like even I had it on a computer, but that computer's dead now. So
long since dead.
Yeah. I think I've been through 2 computers since that one. So
yeah, and I can't even think of. I found some of that stuff.
Right, yeah. I
like
did too,
when we went on the All Around Music podcast.
Yeah, those
last year or whatever that. Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
and
it
was last year. And I think, or was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I think.
Shit. Yeah, because I think it wasn't for the 10th anniversary or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So yeah, it was like 2007 to 2017. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Shit.
Yeah.
But like when we did that, I gave Matt some of the old files I was able to find.
Yeah.
Digging around on old external hard drives and shit.
Those guys are another ones we'd like to.
Yeah, and they may or may not be coming on here real soon. I'm working on that.
Do it.
Matt, Grant more than Matt. Grant, you motherfucker. But yeah.
As long as Matt wears his Golden Girls shirt.
I think that could be arranged.
Yeah, wear it. And then don't wear it.
But yeah,
I was trying to think of something.
But like, I kind of want this, you know, I wanted to do this thing for Thanksgiving so that, like I said, so everybody would have something, but also to kind of give people this idea of kind of like what's coming up and what to kind of expect from it. Because by this point, you know, we put out 5 episodes. By this one, I think will be 5. Right?
3.
Blends, Farmer,
Death at
Dawn. This would be 4.
Yeah.
So this one would be 4, and then
Lot Lizards
would be 5.
Louisiana.
See, that's the thing is we pre-record a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's all it's so.
I mean, we don't do much audio adjustments like we've said in the past. Mostly just kind of a couple EQs, maybe a compressor here and there, but pretty much just level setting because we want it to be pretty as pure as it can be. But that plus getting the video all synced up and everything.
Well, and the fact that, you know, some of us, you know,
work
have jobs, and
one of us has jobs. Well, but
some of us has to play Mr. Mom to a couple of kids.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, I work 7 nights in a row, 12-hour shifts, and then I'm off 7. So
yeah.
Plus having the kids and everything is like, I do it when I can. Usually I get home from work, come straight out here and start working on stuff until about 9 o'clock.
We'll let him in on another little fun thing that I like to do to Tyler when we do these things is I like to take these cameras that we have here and I will set them on as security cameras.
Yeah.
And we have remote desktop abilities with this, so I can access this machine from home, and I will set up cameras and turn them on, you know, to motion sensors, so that when he comes in the morning time, I'll put like some kind of a message on a screen or whatever, and then like have the camera right there, so that like as soon as it kicks on, he turns on the monitor, he sees that he's on camera and he's been recorded.
Yeah. Except for the time that I put on some R-rated.
That was beyond R-rated. That was.
I mean, gay cowboy orgy on live stream for you. I mean, I was just being generous.
I turn on to log into the computer later on that day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to let the cameras on. Let's see what kind of funny shit I got him on."
Oh, I left something up on the screen too, I think.
And I was, you did. I don't remember what the message was, but you said you did put something up there, and then
I think it was a picture.
Yeah, and then I was like, I looked at the videos and I just died. Like I literally almost fell over laughing.
Because it's motion censored, so I just like pulled up like some raunchy shit I found and like just got behind the camera and then just like pulled it up in front of the camera so that it'd start recording.
I was like,
I got you,
motherfucker. But yeah, I mean, so.
At least I didn't find any like bestiality videos on there for you. I'm just trying to find like fucked up shit because I'm fucked up myself in the head. So
I was just like, well, originally when I started doing the security cam things, it was like just as a security measure,
exactly.
You know, so that like in case somebody happened to get in here or whatever, and then it was just funny after that because I was like the first time I caught you on camera. Because I completely forgot that I had it on.
Right, yeah.
And I
yeah.
downsized it and I had it down in the taskbar, so you weren't even looking for it.
Yeah. Well, I think you had it like it was on the other screen, and I didn't even have the other screen on.
Yeah, and like I completely forgot to tell you that I had it on, and then like I log into the computer and you're already using it, and and you send me this message like, "Hey, motherfucker, what are you doing?" Because when I get in and log in, it takes over the mouse and everything, and I'm controlling the computer.
It comes up with this little thing. It's like being remotely.
It says, Zach is logged in and he's being remotely controlled.
Yeah,
and like, so he'll he knows when I've logged in. I'm, moving the mouse around, and he like sends me this message like, "You motherfucker, what are you doing?" And like my mouse goes over and clicks down onto the screen where the cameras are on, and it pops up, and you're just like, "You son of a bitch!" What it was is you flipped me off. That's what it was. Yeah. When I popped it open and you saw that the camera was on, you flipped me off, and I was dying. I was like, "Oops, I forgot to turn it off."
About an hour's worth of.
Oh, dude, it was just like a bunch of, when I went through to delete them later, it was just like a bunch of clips of you just like sitting like this, click, 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 and then being like, click, and then it would like stop because it only, since it's motion censored, if you don't move really, it doesn't record anything. So then it would like record again, and it would be you going, "Ziggy, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
but
I'm always out here like mixing down shit.
Yeah. Well, because we're doing more than just the podcast as well.
Right.
I mean, we've got some other things we're doing.
Working on an album, an EP for some.
We're working on EPs and demos and stuff for other bands and things as well, since we have the studio space. And Tyler's really headed up that one. Yeah. Which, I mean, at some point, I'm sure they'll want you to talk about it, but we'll keep it under wraps for now.
Right, for sure.
But
it's been a long process. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was involved at the beginning, and then I was kind of like, I told you, I'm like, I think I'm going to kind of hand this off to you at this point.
Yeah, it's all right.
But yeah, so
gives me something to do.
But we've had a pretty good time so far.
Yeah.
Hasn't been anything too terribly crazy.
Just technical difficulties.
Lots of technical difficulties just about every time. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that so far we haven't had any issues with this one.
Yeah, we ended up switching DAWs too, DAWs.
Yes, we did. Because we were running with one that I had been running with for years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a newer version of it, right? But it was a program I had been running with for many years.
It's a great program, but
it just seems to have so many bugs.
Yeah, it's just crashing all the time.
It was crashing all the time, and I finally, gave in, and I mean, we'll say now, I mean, we're using Reaper now.
Yeah, I took them over to the dark side of Reaper,
which I had already had Reaper,
right?
But I really wasn't using it,
and that's what I used to record my bass parts and my vocals and master our last album.
Yeah,
The Awakening with Reaper, so I'm super familiar with it. So it's like, hey, you already have this.
You might as well just use it.
Let's try it and see if we have less.
Yeah,
crashing.
you about shit a brick when I told you that I was actually like going to switch over.
I was like, what?
Because what was the first one we completely switched over? Was it Lot Lizards? Was that the first one we completely switched over?
Yes.
To Reaper at that point. Yeah. So, although we edited. It wasn't Death at Dawn was recorded on the other DAW, but it was actually all of the.
I had to painstakingly take every single WAV file and put it into the new one.
Yes, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, you'll have that.
But hey, I mean, since we've done that, we haven't had any issues yet.
Where's some wood to knock on? Not superstitious.
But yeah, but we're still trying to get some more bands in here.
Yeah,
trying to fill up the schedule a little bit more. I think for right now we have episodes out through the first of next year.
Yeah. But we're always looking, so if you're interested,
yes. Yeah. And it's not just, I mean, at this point we've had mostly rock bands and stuff on, but it's not just.
I mean, we're open for anything like EDM, rap.
Yeah, I actually have some people I've talked to, some friends of mine, about that. Some guys that are, DJs and.
I mean, stuff. even if you're more of a classical player or I mean anything music, I mean we're about all music. Like, I mean, you should see my Spotify or I mean, I use Amazon Music usually, but
yeah, I'm the Spotify whore.
Yeah. So, I mean, you should see my playlist. I have everything from folk to bluegrass to some rap stuff to, I mean, it's mostly rock and hardcore and metal.
Oh, dude, like, I tell people, like, if they were to, like, look at my music library, they would just, like, be like, what the fuck are you on?
I mean, I already have ADHD, so like, I think my music kind of expresses that too.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's like all over the place.
Oh yeah, like I have everything from like Cannibal Corpse to like fucking
Cannibal Corpse, Infinite Annihilator
to like Blackpink, fucking K-pop like girl band.
Yeah.
Like, like I've got like
a little too poppy for me.
I got like everything in there. It's just fucking ridiculous. Like 80s new wave shit.
But I've always been
classical
like,
stuff.
I mean, even though I love my metal and everything, I love me some blues.
Oh yeah,
I got a lot of blues in there too.
Well, and you've always, of course, being a Chili Peppers fan, like you've always been like into funk stuff.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Funkadelics, Maggot Brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I put that on my record player and I just sit there. Like,
I'd like to get like more. I'd like to get some more like experimental bands in here.
Oh yeah,
like just
fun.
Like bands that like just do weird shit.
Oh yeah,
like have you? I think did I ever turn you on to the Physics House band? It's like a 3-piece kind of like. It's like an indie progressive band, so it's kind of like they're more like indie sounding, like indie rock sounding.
Yeah, but
they've got like a ton of progressive elements. So it's like constantly building and changing and like...
I mean, kind of like Flaming Lips or something? Or
kind of, but like with a little bit more of like a Muse tinge.
Gotcha.
So there's a little bit more like electronic influence stuff and things like that. But like, yeah, you'll have to check it out. Like, but like their stuff is great because it's like... It's super experimental, like playing around with just weird shit. But
I'm all down for it. I love that.
But then like their drummer will play like almost like Dillinger Escape Plan type drums.
Oh, nice.
With, these like
just changing time signatures.
Yeah, with weird like jazz, like experimental jazz stuff, and like
dude, some of those jazz drummers are fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, definitely some of the craziest drummers. Well, it's because you're basically like throwing the theory like out the fucking window,
right? Yeah,
like you're just going with it.
Like I'll sit there and watch like Dave Weckl or Jojo Mayer, or those guys. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They have so much. Where like, what really interests me is the kinds of sounds they make with their drums. Like I think it's Jojo Mayer has it's like a cutout hi-hat on top of another cutout hi-hat that he puts on his snare that just fits inside the snare.
Really?
And when he hits it, it just makes like this really cool fucking sound. Like crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah. I love watching that shit because I'm always tinkering with stuff anyways.
Oh yeah, you are.
Like the I don't know where they are, but I made a set of hi-hats. They're like sizzle hats.
Oh yeah, where the fuck? I think they're over on the other side of the room over there, like over by the fridge.
Too far. Not gonna make it.
Which is, it's funny. It's like I spent all that time clearing out shit and moving the fridge, and then we completely redid the studio again.
Yeah, the fridge like ended up from across the room to right next to our control desk, and now our control desk is closer to where the fridge was originally.
But I guess now it's in a place that's like more accessible to everyone.
It's more of a communal.
Except for like when you're back
area.
here at the control desk, like working on shit, it's kind of a pain because you got to get up and then go around the desk and then go to it.
That's why you just have a gopher.
But if you're out here working by yourself,
true.
You're kind of fucked.
Well, you grab two.
Oh yeah, that's why I usually have like a couple of drinks sitting on the desk here if I'm working on editing or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do pretty much everything here in house.
Yep.
I mean, I might do some stuff remotely from home.
Right, but that's because you can't be here all the time.
I mean, even though we're in the same town and it's only like, a 5-minute drive.
Yeah, but kids, women.
Work schedules, like it's not always feasible for me to be here all the time, which is why it was nice to get the remote desktop set up so that I could be able to work on some of that stuff from home.
You're not calling me like, hey, I need you to get into the computer and do this.
Yeah, I was like, once I realized that we could do that, once it dawned on me, I was like, why didn't I fucking set this up before? Like, I know how to do this. I used to be a systems administrator. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like,
it's called you're getting old.
Yeah, and I've been out of that game for so long, I just kind of didn't think about it.
What are smartphones? I got me a jitterbug.
It's like, if there's nothing weirder though than using that, I'll have to put it on your phone the app on your phone, so you can log into the computer from there. Is nothing weirder than logging into a Windows desktop, like on an Android phone, like what I've got. And it's just like, you're like, what the? And you gotta like, I can't right click. I can't right click. What the fuck? I mean, it works great when I'm using it with my laptop, but
yeah,
you know, upon occasion, like really the only thing I'll ever do with it when I log in with my phone is, you know, if I need to just get something quickly.
Yeah.
Or like I need to save something that I know is on this computer, you know, to our, you know, our cloud drive or whatever. But eventually, though, like I said, I mean, we would like to get possibly get some sponsors, get some, you know.
I mean, I hate being a like sponsor whore.
No, but the thing is that like you realize
we
very quickly when you start getting into this that like there's no way you can do it on your own completely.
Oh, no.
It's just, it's so expensive.
Yep.
And I mean, especially, I mean, you've put more into this financially even than I have at this point because I just haven't been able to afford it.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, I mean, just simple things like we kept finding we didn't have enough cords.
Yeah.
We just kept running into times where it was like, oh shit, we need more cords. How do we need more fucking cords? Like we had a ton of them and then it was like we kept running out of cords.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then eventually you end up getting like a whole bunch of cords and you're just like, okay, finally we got that. But then it's like you find something else.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
we got more condenser mics.
Yeah, headphones were the thing too, because we wanted to get headphones so that, you know, pretty much everybody that's on here can have headphones if they want to.
I mean, I wish we could have got nicer headphones, but I mean the headphones we have work.
Yeah, and they're not bad. I mean actually the thing is, although I'm using mine that I've had for a while, but the ones that you got for here, I've actually seen on a lot of other podcasts and stuff, and even like this, like video podcasts on YouTube, using the same exact ones for their studios. I
mean, it's nice because you never know when they're going to fall off someone's head and get stepped on or something if they're, you know, rocking out pretty hard or something like that. So, I mean, $30-$40 a pop, they're not too bad. So.
No. Well, and the thing I think that I started seeing, which is going to be a problem that we are running into now as far as like with cameras, is that we don't have enough ports left for cameras.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know, the machine that I have to do this on, it's, you know, it's built as a gaming computer.
Yeah.
And so it works for doing this, but it's not a high-end gaming computer.
Right.
You know, it's a mid to low grade gaming computer. It hasn't just enough to be able to handle this, but barely.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean,
even with upgraded RAM and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the first thing I did with it. Right after I got it, I upgraded the RAM and everything. And I think I've got it maxed out at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I can put any more in it. And
you can fit it in there.
Well, I could put it in there. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't recognize it.
Right. I know.
But like, but yeah, like adding more cameras. We want to add more cameras, but the problem is like we're already out of ports.
Yeah.
So that means that we're gonna have to get another card with more USB ports and video ports to add more cameras, and you know, it's like. So then it's like, there you go. To get the cameras alone, you're looking at, you know, if we just went the route that we are with using webcams, you know, those are, you know, $50 to $80 or more a pop, depending on what they are. And then, you know, but in order to use those, we got to get another, you know, PCI card with more USB plugs and ports. So there you're looking at another $60 to $80 at least.
I mean, ideally we'd have a bunch of DSLRs, but that's
yes, and I sent you some stuff that we're looking at the potential in the future of, but yet again, you're looking at $300 a pop for these suckers, and that's used. Yeah, like those aren't new, and that's like the cheapest that I could find.
Right, exactly.
And like we have a DSLR that we use as a third camera.
Right,
but that's my DSLR that I've had, you know, for doing photography and cinematography and stuff, and it works great for having that nicer camera for things here and there, but
I mean, you can definitely tell the quality.
Oh yeah, well, it's the lens
even
more than
from
anything.
Well, even from that to my webcam, which I'm on, to your webcam, which is only one model back from mine. I mean, you can still tell the difference. So
yeah, yours has a higher frame rate than mine.
Yeah.
think yours goes all the way up to 60, and I think mine maxes out at 30.
Yeah.
But then like my DSLR does 60. So
Right.
um,
But even mine, I mean, if I wouldn't have gotten it half off on Black Friday last year,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have bought it.
well, yeah, and it's like mine I bought quite a while ago.
I think they were the same price, but
Yeah,
because mine was half off.
and I bought mine back when I was gonna start that movie review podcast and channel like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And it just kind of, I found very quickly that as much as I love that stuff, I don't have the time to dedicate to it.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, I don't have the time or the money to be constantly going and watching movies all the time and to review them and everything. Like, I love talking about movies and I love watching movies and stuff. I just don't have the time. And so it was like, for as much as I wanted to do it, and I kind of got the setup to do it, I'm like, I don't have the time to actually do it.
Yeah, no.
And so it's like, my hat's off to those guys that do that as a full-time job, but it is a full-time job.
Oh,
whereas
absolutely.
like with this, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah.
You know, this is something where it's like, I don't have to always be going to a theater all the time to watch new movies and, you know, keeping up on that. Like, you know, when we bring bands in, you know, when we have time to schedule them and do that. But
yeah. Plus, we can sit here and talk about music shit all day.
oh yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
With these podcasts, like where it's just kind of sitting around. Like one of the things that we'd also talked about doing at some point in the future is doing like album reviews.
Yeah.
And doing things like that. Like maybe not necessarily an episode where it's like a podcast episode like this about it, but we might do some shorts here and there when we got time to. And even I've talked about even bringing on some guests to do album reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
That want to come in and do an album review for the channel and everything. So, you know, that's something else too. If we got some people that are watching that are interested in, you know, they could always
hit us up.
What is it? It's bandshoppodcast@gmail.com, right?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure, yeah, that it's there's no the in it. It's just Bandshop Podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
But yeah, you could email us if you're interested in possibly, you know, like doing some album reviews for us or whatever. If you want to submit some videos and possibly beyond, like we want to open this up to be not just necessarily us. If there's other people that want to get involved and be a part of it as well, of course, you know.
Yeah.
And we have some people already who have jumped in behind the scenes and helped.
Yeah.
So, and people have offered to do more too if we needed it.
And even, you know, I know there's probably some people out there that, you know, have an interest in this kind of thing, but don't necessarily have the time or resources to do it on a more frequent basis. But they can always, you know, we can always use our platform as like a hosting type, you know, like, well, we have a video we're going to post under ours to get it out there.
Yeah, yeah. If somebody wants to do the video themselves and wants to put it on a platform where it might get, you know, exposure to the people that watch us, you know, we'd be willing to host it.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it fits in with everything.
Right.
You know.
I mean, ultimately, I hate to sound like a pretentious dickhead, but like, I mean, it's going to need both of our stamps of approval on it. I mean, we're not going to put something up under our name that's going to.
No. But I mean, we're also, as you can tell, we're pretty open to shit. So, yeah. I mean, you'd have to be pretty bad.
Zach's wide open.
No, I'm not gonna keep going with that one. I thought about it, but I was like, in a world where his asshole is as wide as a cape.
Dude, it's like the couple, this is probably a month or two ago, my word of the day or word of the week. For those easily offended, cover your ears.
Oh no.
It was cavernous cunt.
I think we've all known a few of those.
I mean, look up the definition of cavernous. I mean, it's a wide open, damp place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
For some people.
I could think of a few people that would probably fit.
Yeah, well. But anyway.
But yeah, that was kind of the main thing that I wanted to kind of cover on this was just kind of talk a little bit about how it started, a little bit of like where we're wanting to go with it, kind of some of what our goals are with, you know, this moving on into the future.
Send us money.
Yeah, and well, that's the other thing too, is I am going to be setting up a PayPal account with our Gmail. So I will, you know, make sure that that's up and running too for people who want to just donate to it.
We're not you know, asking you to.
No, we're not asking anybody to, but if anybody wants to, that'd be awesome. And honestly, like, it's just going to go back into
equipment. Absolutely.
I mean, it's going to go into cameras and, you know, more, you know, better cables and, you know, whatever we need, like eventually getting a better computer and, you know, better monitors. And it's just about improving the show and making it better.
It will not be spent on hookers and cocaine
that often.
We do have to please our bands.
Some of them have riders, you know, when they come in.
I do furnish them with beverages. That's about it.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah. So I mean, at some point, you know, we want to expand the studio as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have like I mean, eventually, if it got bigger, we'd like to have like our own little like separate building, but
yeah, not necessarily have to have it in a residence.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen ever anytime soon, but one could dream.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, hey, you know, you never know that we could end up getting some bigger bands on here. They just want to come in and shoot the shit. Maybe not necessarily do a live session,
right?
But just want to come in and talk, and we start getting massive hits off of something like that, and we can, you know, potentially, you know.
I mean, ideally, it'd be awesome to open our own venue, but that's a headache.
I mean, you can open the venue. I don't want anything to do with that.
Fuck that.
I've been involved in venues before. I don't want to do that.
Not in this area.
I don't want to do that. That's right now. That'd be a fucking lost cause.
Yeah,
but
I don't feel like, you know, selling my left testicle.
You have to do more than that, and then you'd lose it all.
Selling my soul to the drug cartel.
Again.
Shit. Well,
but yeah, we've been doing this for, you know, about 45 minutes to an hour. So, you know, we weren't planning on doing a big long episode this time around. Just wanted to kind of shoot the shit and give you guys something to listen to and watch.
Bore you to sleep too much. I can talk in a nice low voice and
could do some like
yeah. Once upon a time. I'm gonna lull you to sleep. I'm gonna get me some of them French fried taters and.
But I think that will probably be it for this week.
Yeah.
And next week will be Louisiana Lot Lizards.
Yeah.
Which is fucking sick.
So sick.
I mean, oh my god. Oh my god.
I haven't really touched the audio yet because, like, I'm just gonna have to prepare myself.
And there's not much to, honestly, dude.
Oh no,
it is so good. Like when
listening to it straight off the board is just
fuck. Like when we brought them in here, and this is just a tease for next week. Like they were so fucking solid. Like on top of their shit.
I'm gonna have to at least buy like 2 tubes of lotion and 3 packages of fucking Kleenex when I go through that audio. Just saying. And,
you know, also as a forewarning for anyone who, you know, might be easily offended, if you have issues with Paw Patrol, might not want to listen to next week's episode. That's a little.
It's towards the end.
I can tell you I've not been able to look at a fucking Paw Patrol poster the same way. You guys, that's a little tease for next week. So now you'll have to watch it.
There might be added effects too.
Yes.
I just have to find the audio clips for him.
We just got to be careful not to get
no copyright. Yeah. Can't have any copyright infringements.
That was a good time, though. It was a great time.
It was a great time. You know what? Like, some of our best conversations with bands is when we get completely off topic.
Oh, that's always the best conversations is when you get completely off topic. Like,
and I want people to understand, like, we're not going to sit here and talk about music for an hour and a half. I mean, usually.
Oh no, we'll talk about, like, when we get an artist on here. Of course, we're going to talk about their music and like what they do.
Yeah.
But honestly, what most people want to hear and like what we want to hear is just them being themselves.
Yep.
Like, we just want to talk with them. And most of the bands. Humans. Like, all the bands we've had on so far have all been friends of ours.
Yeah.
Like, we know these people personally. Like, you know, they're people we've played in bands with before, or we played shows with, or...
Some of them intimately.
Very. But, like,
just kidding.
You know, obviously it's not going to be like that with all of them.
Right.
But, you know, for us, it's a lot more interesting to just shoot the shit about things and, you know, just talk. And so, I mean, yes, there will be discussions about what the bands are doing, but yet we're also going to veer off and talk about Paw Patrol for 30 minutes.
Or Ghost Adventures.
Ghost Adventures. We can't give away too much for next week. We gotta, we gotta let them.
Or, I mean, with the blends, we were talking about aliens forever. That was like before we started rolling, though.
Yeah. And then we had to cut out some stuff from that, too.
Yeah. Anytime we edit anything is probably some, like, information that should not be shared.
Most of the time, we're not going to edit things on the conversations. Unless something comes up that a member of the band feels shouldn't necessarily have been said in the moment, or if it's something that we feel is too sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, so a rumor about somebody or something, or we're
especially when it involves yeah
that's all we need to say. So it's like
when it involves sensitive subjects.
Yeah, so we don't want to like get nailed for like slander or anything like that. So it's like that's.
I mean, we slander ourselves enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll pick on people we know and shit, but
like Benny.
Yeah. Fuck you, Benny.
Fuck you.
But like, very rarely are you going to find edits on our stuff like that, but if you do, know that it was for a good reason.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about Benny's giant balls all we want, but just kidding, Benny. I love you. Oh, it's gonna be a great time when we get controverted.
Controvert.
And King's Gambit.
Oh yeah, Gambit's gonna be coming up too. Oh dude, Red Tail. I'm telling you, Red Tail is gonna be like, especially sitting down to shoot the shit with those guys, because we haven't actually sat down and talked with them like one-on-one like this in a long time. Like,
they used to come to my house all the time too. I mean,
yeah.
I'll save the story for when they're here. But some shit happened one night at our place, and it was a great time.
Oh, there's been several great times with those guys.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about one in particular right before we moved out.
Oh God, I can't. Well, that would have been one I wasn't there for, so I gotta.
Yeah, it was great. Let's just say, it's an easy time to undecorate.
I think I heard something about this actually.
Yeah, we'll save it.
I think I know what you're insinuating, and I think I remember this story.
Yeah,
but
it's Ben's fault.
But yeah, so having Red Tail on, of course, Tuesday Atlas. That's one that's coming up. Tuesday Atlas should be after Law Lizards.
Yes.
And then I think it will be Red Tail. And then I think that will be our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
And then after that will be
King's Gambit?
Yeah, Gambit. I'm pretty sure.
Because I think we're gonna we might do 2 non-band ones back to back.
Depends.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
As of right now, I think that's what the schedule is going to be coming up.
Yeah.
But don't, quote us necessarily on that because it'll change. Because like I originally put up the list of like Tuesday Atlas was going to be on in the first 3 weeks, and then some stuff came up, and well, even Chris Farmer. I mean, Farmer was going to be originally our first guest. And some scheduling things changed, and he ended up becoming our second guest instead. And
that's why I just stopped saying what episode it is at the beginning of the podcast, because I'm like, oh, who knows when this one will be. I don't know where it's going to be at.
And the other thing too is the reason we don't do this live is because it makes it much easier in the editing process for one, and if there's it also when it comes to releasing, because because of your work schedule in particular. It's not like we can do this every week.
Right.
So even though we're putting episodes out every week, a lot of times we're doubling up on recording episodes like on the week that you're off. Yeah. So we might have 2 bands in the same week.
Well, and that too, we, if you haven't noticed, we've started this new process since our first podcast was released, that we like to release the songs that were done, like the sessions that were done before the podcast throughout the week. To give you an idea.
I actually have been experimenting with that too, in that like with Farmers, I did it like 2 a day leading up to it. But then I found that what was happening was a lot of times the second video, nobody was watching it. Yeah. So starting with Death at Dawn, I just started doing it every day, 1 a day. Yeah. And then like on the day that the podcast gets released, there'll be 2, there'll be 1 that's the video and then 1 that's the podcast as well. And then I can continue it on to Friday. So Friday has a video as well. Yeah. Because I feel like when I was doubling up on them, only one of them was really getting watched. And I felt bad because like some of the other songs, like the second videos were really good, but nobody was watching them. They were only watching the first one. Yeah. So, and the other thing too is we need subscribers on the YouTube channel, because
hit that like button.
Honestly, when I look at, not to sound like your typical YouTube cheesy fucking, sellout, but like for real, there's a reason why we need that, which is like there's certain things we can't do with our YouTube channel.
Right, exactly. Like we can't set, here's a little insider. Yeah. We can't set the IP or the
address. You can't have a custom URL
address. You can't set the URL address until you have at least 100 subscribers. So I mean, it's little things like that.
Yeah, like so like right now the channel's like youtube.com/KXYJ1 blah 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 blah, Right. And we can't change that to Bandshot Podcast until we have 100 subscribers. Yeah. So it's like you have to, it's milestones like that, and then like even for us to get like ad revenue, we have to have like it's like 1,000 subscribers or some
like
shit.
That, yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but and obviously that would be nice to have some revenue coming in from ads to help pay, because we're also having to pay for file hosting for the podcast, the audio feed podcast. So it's like, and that's another thing too, that people can subscribe to that and listen to it. And it's actually on all platforms right now.
Is it?
Well, it's on Apple Podcast. It's on Spotify.
Did it get approved?
Yeah.
Okay.
So goddamn cough. Seriously.
I mean, not only that, but like the electricity out here and the heating.
Exactly. Especially now going into the winter time when, this is obviously the Thanksgiving podcast. So it's like, as it's getting cold here in Indiana, any time after like the 1st of October, it could get cold as shit and start snowing and like
then get warm and then
it can go up and down and up and down. Like, so the heating expenses out here, the electric expenses for running lights and all this audio equipment and shit, like, there's costs involved.
I mean, which I don't want to sound like we know, and like it's such a hardship, but it does. Like, I'm happy to do it because I'm happy to expose all these bands, and like if we didn't get ad revenue or something like that, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. No, it's just nice to have the little extra helping hand, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's more just to get this thing to be able to help support itself.
Yeah,
and this is
daddy needs to buy diapers.
Yeah, and not be spending money on cables and like shit like that. It's
so. Well, we should probably wrap this up here.
Yeah.
It's been about an hour. So.
Yep, we are right at an hour now. according to my video.
The babies probably want to see me. They haven't seen me all week. So.
Yeah. It's about that time, and I've got a baby at home that's, although by this point he's about probably passed out.
Hopefully.
Plus, I got some other little editing things I need to do before I head out of the studio today.
Yep.
For this week's stuff and some stuff for next week. So.
Yep. So thanks for coming and joining us today, guys. Look forward to further episodes.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And I mean, if you just want to chat with us, hit us up.
Yeah, you can hit us up on the Facebook page
or even YouTube
or anything. Like, you could send us messages or comments. We do read the comments and things.
Yes.
So yeah, you can get a hold of us if you want anything. We've also talked about the possibility at some point of, getting, guests, hosts from, like when we get into like the Patreon thing and stuff, maybe having like a top donator of the month that might come on as a, even like a Skype in thing at some point, to be another little host or whatever. So, those are the kinds of things we're looking to try to do in the future. But yeah, so thanks guys for sitting here and listening to us just shoot the shit with each other for an hour, and we will see you guys next week.
And the week after.
And the week
and
after.
The week after. And the week after.
Hopefully. We're going to try to keep doing this every week, dropping one every week.
Until we get shut down.
Although that's the other thing too, is we are setting these up as seasons, and we haven't completely discussed like when we're going to take our breaks.
Right.
But that will eventually happen at some point where we'll take, maybe a month off or something to regroup and or pre-record more stuff.
Do some brainstorming.
Yeah. I mean, especially like in the summer, dude, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
I honestly, there's some cool things coming that I would like to do this coming summer with this podcast.
Yeah.
Some possibly on the scene type stuff for some local festivals and things like that. So it's going to be fucking crazy next year. I can already tell.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be fucking crazy. But anyways, guys.
All right.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next week with fucking lot lizards. So make sure you're watching.
Fucking Louisiana lot lizards.
Bye, guys. We'll
Later.
See you.